Dear students, I am Dr. Kumar, Assistant Professor of Zoology, Government First Grade College, Shira. The topic of today's lecture is the mechanical and biological vectors. Belongs to the paper 4, that is insect vectors and diseases. Let us know about the mechanical and biological vectors. First and foremost, the vector-borne diseases. Vector-borne diseases are the set of diseases which are usually caused by the vectors. Vectors are the organisms which can able to transmit the pathogens or the disease causing agent from one organism to the another organism. Okay, or one infected individual to the another healthy individual in transmitting the disease and causing the disease in the another individual. Many vector-borne diseases are zoonotic diseases. Many vector-borne diseases are commonly they are designated as zoonotic diseases. Zoonotic diseases are those diseases that can be transmitted directly or indirectly between the animals and the human beings. Those diseases that can be transmitted between the animals and the human beings, they are usually designated as zoonotic diseases. So these include examples are the Lyme diseases, tick-borne encephalitis, West Nile disease caused by the West Nile virus, leishmaniasis, hemorrhagic fever, etc. Let us know about the mechanical vectors. The mechanical vectors are usually the flies. The flies can pick up the infectious agents on the outside of their bodies and transmit them through the physical contact. So the mechanical vectors are those vectors or the insects, they usually carry the pathogen through the contact, the physical contact. Okay, so from physical contact on the body surface, either from the legs, body surface, feathers or fur, okay, through the body surface. So these the disease causing agents are transmitted from one individual to the another individual. Here they pick up the infectious agents from outside of their body. That means from one body surface to the another body surface, the infectious agent is transmitted. Okay, so such a transmission through the vector is what is called as mechanical vector transmission. Okay, example, the housefly and the cockroaches. The housefly you can see and the cockroach. So these housefly and the cockroaches, they usually feed on the dead and decaying matter and the various kind of substances which are present on the in the environment. Okay, so either in the household environment or in the outside the houses where the disease causing agents are present. The next is biological vectors. Biological vectors is quite different, where the mosquitoes are usually example. Mosquitoes and ticks and mites, etc., bugs, they carry the pathogens that can multiply within their bodies and be delivered to new pores, usually by biting process. Okay, so this is quite different with when compared to mechanical vector. Mechanical vector usually it is transmitted through the body surface, okay, externally. But here the vector or the biological vectors, the disease causing agent enters into the body, okay, where it undergoes some sort of development, okay, and they become infectious stage, and through this again these vectors, this disease causing agent or the pathogen enters into the body of the another susceptible healthy host. Through a biting process, this disease causing agent being transmitted through a process what is called as biting. Okay, example, the mosquito, ticks and the bugs. You have seen the bugs, the bed bugs, the mosquito and also the ticks and mites. So these are the insects which are responsible for causing the biological the transmission of the disease causing agent from one person to the another person, that is internally through a process what is called as biting. Vector-borne diseases can be transmitted differently in two ways. Okay, the one is mechanical way of pathogen transmission. The second is biological way of pathogen transmission. Let us go one by one. The first one is the mechanical. So here you can see this slide clearly understands what is mechanical vector and what is biological vector. The first one, for the first image that shows the mechanical vector transmission. So this is externally the flies, any kind of insect flies, usually like take for example the fecal matter. The fecal matter which is usually present in the external environment. The flies which sits on the fecal matter and carries the disease causing agent. Okay, the same fly they come to the houses, okay, sits on the various substances which are kept open in the houses like the bread, butter, etc. Okay, when it sits on these food substances, the agent, that disease causing agent, is transmitted onto it, and once the human being consume this contaminated food, the fly transfers the pathogen to the food, and when this food is consumed by the human being, the person eats the contaminated food and then get sick because the pathogen enters into the body. Such a transmission is what is called as mechanical transmission. The biological transmission is quite different way. Here you can see the first stage, the infected mosquito bites uninfected or healthy person. Okay, the mosquito is having a disease causing agent, the pathogen, and this pathogen enters into the body of the healthy human being through biting. Okay, so once the mosquito bites to the healthy human being, the disease causing agent enters into the body and in turn enter into the red blood cells. Okay, so secondly, the mosquito bites to the infected person. Okay, so now the person gets infection, that is the disease causing agent enters into the body. Okay, the another the mosquito, if bites the such susceptible host, so this mosquito also get the disease causing agent into the body, so that this the mosquito is able to transmit the pathogen to the another susceptible host. Okay, so this is what is called as biological vector transmission. The mechanical way of pathogen transmission, that includes the mechanical transmission of pathogen, that is flying insects on their legs, the infectious agent which is attached to the legs, the feet or the wings or the proboscis, or by the passage of pathogens through their gastrointestinal tract. Okay, so there is no multiplication or development of pathogen within the mechanical vector. So no part of the pathogen life cycle occurs in the mechanical vector. This is another important aspect you need to understand. In the mechanical way of pathogen transmission, there is no further development of the disease causing agent occurs. Okay, so there is no further development or any stage of multiplication or further development will not occur in mechanical way of pathogen transmission. Whereas in a biological way of pathogen transmission involves a part of the pathogen life cycle occur within the vector's body. Once the pathogen enters into the body of the vector, okay, inside the vector body, the pathogen undergoes some sort of development, some stages of development. They undergo multiplication, and they reach the infective stage. Okay, so once they reach the infective stage, before it can transmit the infective form, the pathogen to the host. The incubation period, what is called in the incubation period, is those that period where the infectious the pathogen undergoes further development. Okay, it will take 1 or 2 days to undergo further development, and it will become infectious stage. Okay, so this period is what is called as incubation period. So the incubation period is therefore needed before the vector becomes infectious and it is able to transmit the infection from one person to the another person. The pathogen within the vector can also be transmitted vertically to the next generation of the vector. That is what is called as trans-ovarian transmission. So imagine a situation where in the body of a vector, the disease causing agent or the pathogen is present. Imagine a situation where in the body of a vector, so a pathogen or disease causing agent is present. So this the vector can transmit the pathogen to the next generation through their gonads, like the ovary or the testis. Okay, through this ovary and testis, they can able to transmit the disease causing agent to the next generation, what is called as trans-ovarian transmission. In the same way, the other kind of transmission is what is called as transstadial transmission. So the meaning is that the pathogen can be transmitted from one stage of the life cycle to the another stage, like for example from nymph to the adult. Here it is quite different from the trans-ovarian transmission where, so in the transstadial transmission, the development of one infective stage to the another infective stage usually occurs. Like for example, during metamorphosis, the larva that changes are transformed from the adult stage. Okay, so this is an example of the transstadial transmission. When the pathogen is ready or the infective stage is ready within the vector, the transmission of the pathogen from vector to the host can be done in different ways, like mechanical transmission and the biological transmission. In order to transmit the disease, the vector has to be competent for it. In order to transmit the disease or the disease causing agent, the vector has to be competent. Okay, the vector competence is the ability of the vector to acquire and maintain and transmit the microbial agent. Not all blood-sucking arthropods are the vectors. They can serve as a transmitters, that is the disease causing agent. Only few insects are capable of, they are very competent in transmitting the disease causing agent. Not all arthropods are competent in doing such transmission. Okay, so this is all about the mechanical and biological transmission. Thank you.